Losing body fat requires eating less calories than we burn. There's two ways to do this, the hard way or the easy way. You can rely on willpower, think about food all day. Ultimately, this is the hard way, by the way. Or you can learn to eat in a way that actually satisfies you so you just don't think about food all day. Imagine the mental freedom. You eat, and then you just don't think about food for several hours until it's time to eat again. What if I told you that your problem might not be discipline, you might just be hungry? In this video, we're going to go over ways to make eating less feel easier. Dr. Elise Fair here. This is my favorite topic. First of all, food noise is not a lack of discipline. You know, that voice in your head. Is it time to eat yet? Is it lunchtime? Is it snack time? What's for dinner? Did I hit my calories today? How much protein did I have? This is not a lack of discipline. This is your body not having enough satiety signals turned on to actually tell you to stop eating. Undereating leads to overeating. I see so many patients who are focused on eating as little calories as possible, but eating smaller amounts throughout the day does not mean that you're actually going to eat less in the course of the day overall. In fact, often it's the opposite. Imagine it's breakfast time. You have some yogurt and berries. Then soon after you're hungry, so you get a latte and a muffin. Then a little peckish, so you have a granola bar, maybe some crackers, some fruit. It's lunchtime, so you just have a little few bites of something. Then on the way home, some grapes, No wonder you're hungry. This is not eating enough calories, let alone protein and fats to actually make you feel full. So the point is, stop focusing on eating as little calories as possible. Focus on eating meals that actually are large enough of proper healthy foods to satisfy you, so then you just don't think about food and you're not constantly battling those cravings and the urge to eat all the time. Feeling full is actually less about how many calories you're eating and more about the specific macronutrient profile. So remember we talked about the granola bars and the snacks and the crackers. These are pure carbs that have very little protein and fat or fiber to actually fill you up. We've heard about the GLP-1 drugs, the Ozempics, the Wegovy, the Zepbounds. These can be effective for weight loss because partially the way they operate is they reduce our appetite and make us feel full. The thing is, we naturally produce GLP-1 in our guts in response to meals that are high enough in protein. What GLP-1 does, it's that signal that says, ooh, we just ate, I'm good, I'm full, I'm satisfied, I don't want to eat anymore. So when you're eating these granola bars, these crackers, these low-fat, low-protein options, there's not enough protein to stimulate the secretion of GLP-1 and PYY. These are the hormones that tell our body we're full, we're satisfied, we don't want any more food. There's another piece of this, insulin resistance. Every time we eat, insulin is released and its job is to bring glucose from the bloodstream into the cells where we can use it for energy. When someone is used to eating frequently or eating high carbohydrate foods, this leads to a state of chronic insulin elevation, and our cells become less responsive. This is the beginning of insulin resistance. So basically when insulin is out and it's trying to bring that glucose back into the cells, our cells become less responsive. They're like, you were just here, we're good. They don't open the door per se. So what this means, our pancreas will therefore produce more insulin, which over time is a fat storage hormone, by the way, not helpful for fat loss. But the point is, as far as our cells are concerned, they're still starving because the glucose is not actually coming in where they can use it for energy. So this is why we can have plenty of calories coming in or stored on our bodies, but still have that signal to eat because we're hungry, largely to do with insulin. The best thing you can do for fat loss? Protein first. This applies to all of your meals. They should have at least 30 to 40 grams of protein, depending on your body size, if not more. This is what sends the memo to our body to secrete those GLP-1s and PYY, those signals that say we're full, don't need to eat anymore. One egg is only about 6 grams of protein. That's a great start, but if this is your meal, no wonder you're hungry shortly after. You should be having 4 to 6 eggs if this is actually a meal to get enough protein to send those signals to your brain. So my challenge to you, base your meals around protein. For snacks, if you must have them, before reaching for the granola bar or the crackers or the chips, reach for protein, a protein shake, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, whatever works for you. If you still want to eat the crackers or the chips, go for it. But my bet to you is that you won't even think about it. Maybe you'll need less of it. Protein is your best friend when it comes to fat loss. This is also why healthy snacking can also lead to weight gain. Remember the granola bar, the crackers, the toast, the chips, the fruit roll-ups? Pure carbs with very little satiety. Very little protein, very little fat, very little fiber to actually make you feel full. These calories can really add up without making you ever feel full. You could basically just keep eating and eating them. Plus, add in the piece of insulin resistance, your cells not being able to adequately reach that energy, so you keep sending these hunger signals even though you have plenty of calories coming in. Also, I'd like to ask you, why are you so snacky? It's very likely because your meals earlier in the day did not contain enough protein to actually make you feel full. The mentality that eating healthy has to suck is over. Get on Pinterest, get on the internet. There are literally endless ways that you can make all of your favorites and make them in a way that actually support your fitness goals instead of taking away from your health. I wrote a book called Cookies for Breakfast based just on this. Nobody wants to live in a world without cookies. You can have cookies. You just need to make them in a different way without the refined sugar, flours, and the crap ingredients. Any grocery store now has a whole aisle of flours that are not refined white flour. Almond flour, oat flour, chickpea flour, garbanzo flour. These are whole food-based things that affect your insulin much differently and can actually support fat loss. You don't even have to tell your kids. Don't tell them it's a cauliflower crust pizza. That's weird. Just don't even say anything. Just like they're really not going to know. And over time, set the example, and that's just going to become the standard of high quality food in your household. Also, I'm just saying, we don't crave what we never eat. Our cravings are shaped by the foods we eat regularly. If you never eat caviar, will you suddenly have a craving for caviar? Probably not. Over time, by regularly eating more healthy foods, we will actually start to crave and want and desire these foods. Our microbiome also plays a role in this. If you eat a lot of sugar, a lot of your gut microbiome is populated by bugs that eat a lot of sugar because that's a great place for them to be. Over time, your microbiome will repopulate the more you eat these health-promoting foods in the first place. So here's what I want you to do. Stop trying to eat as little calories as possible. Your body needs calories. If you don't eat them during your mealtime, you're going to crave and binge and get them from somewhere else. Eat fewer, larger meals that are based around protein, healthy fats, vegetables, and fiber. If you're hungry and need a snack, first reach for protein before you reach for any straight carbohydrate like a granola bar or crackers. Crackers are BS. They are not helping your diet, they are not good for you, and they are pure carbohydrate that just makes you more hungry. So the trick is that we don't want to feel like you're on a diet. You want to actually feel full, so learn new ways to make your favorite foods that you actually enjoy. Remember, we want at least 30 to 40 grams of protein per meal to send satiety signals to our brain to signal that we actually ate. Otherwise, we're going to keep wanting to graze all day. This will free up so much mental energy by not thinking about food all the time. It's the best thing you can do for your metabolism. Dr. Lise Fair, as you can tell, I love this topic, so stay tuned for more of this. I'm here for you on your weight loss journey for body composition, food, fitness, and fun. Thanks for being here. See you next time.